Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of Tell It As It Is or Shut Up Guyana. Right? I'm your host, Papa Snow. We're coming to you live and direct out of Guyana right now with some really valid updates, okay? Letting you know a little bit of history, letting you know a little bit of what might end up taking place in the future, and trying to find out if you're ready for what may be coming our way. So before I continue to go on, let me first say good morning to everyone out there. Good morning to our sponsors. Thank you guys very much for staying supportive of the show, even though sometimes I have a little bit of a potty mouth, right? It is very, very necessary for us to be able to hold one head and move forward. In fact, Guyana has never needed the people to work together as much as it needs the people to work together at a moment in time like this. So I will continue to go ahead and share out our live stream in the meantime. And I'm going to ask that all of you who are watching this also go ahead and share out this stream because at the end of the day, it's important for everyone in Guyana to know what is going on, as well as all of the Guyanese around the world, as well as the international community needs to know what's going on and stop playing games about when they're going to intervene, because the direction which we're headed right now is not a very nice direction, and it can seriously lead to a lot of people uh, losing tons and tons and tons of all of the assets and everything else they would have built up in this life. Now, the writing has been on the wall for some time now, and we have been going over tons of information that shows that our country definitely is not headed down a good direction. We're headed down toward a very troubling path, and this path may lead to unnecessary violence. There's tons of other things that could be happening here, as well as tons of things that need to be released out into the public, right? Now, I saw yesterday NCN, which is the government news channel right now, whichever government is control, and I see them doing independence celebrations. I hear about a lot of things being talked about yesterday. I always hear about independence. I see them, putting up flags and doing all of this stuff. Like I said, under the APNU-AFC government, we have had some of the biggest independence celebrations, I guess, that the world has ever seen, Skunt, right? Or at least for Guyana, that we have actually seen as Guyanese. You had people jumping out of planes and parachuting and all of this stuff because apparently our president is, or Mr. Granger is supposed to be like the best thing in the world, right? I don't believe that shit. However, it is what it is, right? And since everybody likes to put out the truth, I think we definitely need to put out the truth about another incident that happened on the 26th of May, right? I believe this happened in the 60s, and that is the Wismar Massacre, okay? Like, a lot of people want to forget this thing. They want to hide this thing, right? It's just like Jonestown Massacre, too. A lot of things people want to hide. And you'll notice that there's another one right there, right? That's a potential, right? I want you to understand that that is a potential because all of these things don't look good. Think about when these massacres happened, ladies and gentlemen. Think about which government was in control when these massacres have been happening, right? And it ain't looking good. When your track records involve a set of people dying and part of the society being trampled on, it's not a good thing to consider, right? Definitely, in my opinion, it's not a good thing to consider because there's just too much nonsense going on. So we definitely need to shed a little bit of light on these situations. Now, I'm hoping that they don't attempt to cut my power or sabotage my internet connection, phone lines, because they tend to do that every time I come out to say something that they really don't want to hear. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you share this as much as you could possibly share this and get this out. Yes, there's also a Lozignan massacre as well. We're going to talk a little bit about that, right? You see, that's when things just get out of control, right? And but there's going to be more. Don't be fooled. Under a dictatorship, there's going to be a lot more, right? I just don't think it's going to be going in the directions that some persons expect, you know? So right now, what I'm doing here today is to push to help prevent these things, or at least to help get the public ready so that we can limit the loss of life if anything like this is to happen. Because the reality is, with everything that I see going on, I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but I have seen all of the potential pieces coming into play, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about these pieces that are coming into play, because it's very serious that people pay attention, especially the younger Guyanese, because at the end of the day, you are going to be the ones most affected by all of the garbage that's happening right now. It is your futures that will be destroyed. It is you that will be left to pick up the pieces from a broken nation after this whole cycle is completed. And some of you, I'm sad to say, are not equipped to rebuild even your own lives, much less rebuild a whole country, right? Now we got talks of a total lockdown. A total lockdown. Late. This got nothing to do with COVID-19. To anybody who's trying to say that this has anything to do with COVID-19, well, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as you hear somebody saying that, you better identify them as an enemy. This is a realistic thing here, right? COVID-19, come on. Even America coming out of this lockdown right now, right? A lot of things happening, and a lot of people don't want to accept what is happening. Some people still making excuses for the thief man them. And if you want to make excuses for the thief man, or you want to make excuses for the dictator, well, I'm sorry to say, but you are part and parcel with it. And when the judgment come, you got to face that judgment as well, right? So don't think that you're going to smile and you're going to hide when this whole thing is done, because you ain't. We're going to hunt you down, right? We're going to hunt you down as part of the pack, right? I'm telling you straight, right? Because you ain't going to attack a whole free nation and think you're going to get away with it. So when this government change, trust me when I tell you, all persons, who have been part and parcel of this whole shenanigans to rig an election, to steal a country, to segregate the country further, to victimize one part of the country due to their racial or ethnic differences, the cultural differences, you will face the blunt of the law, right? Now, I know some of you feel you're gonna get away. I want you to understand, you ain't getting away. Plenty of you have exposed yourself on Facebook. We have had our agents all over the place documenting everybody who has been pushing out false information, because in order to fix the problem, you need to find out everybody who is involved in the problem. So I've been allowing people to talk and people to skin up themselves for quite some time. My network, we have been documenting all of the instances of corruption and all of the instances of misinformation, all of the instances of racial discrimination that is going on, because we have been helping to source out the particular problems. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you before and I can tell you again, the problems are not just up at the top, because the big buys themselves don't do their dirty work, right? They just get their minions who probably ain't got no damn sense and don't realize how much devastation or heartache they cause into people, and they just get those people to go out to the streets and to do all of their wickedness, right? So, and we're going to talk a little bit about this, and I know some people ain't going to like what we talk about, but it's history, and it's a history that people continue to hide because you don't like the truth, and the truth is a serious thing, right? The truth is a very serious thing, right? So we're going to be doing a little bit of history recapping today. We're even going to do some predictions for the future, right? Today you could stop calling me Papa Stone, you could call me Papa Nostradamus, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen here, right? And it's not some nice stuff that people want to hear, right? Because the world going to end for plenty people after 2020. I'm going to tell you this right now. What I mean by this, who ain't going to jail, going to the grave skunt, right? Because some people refuse to give up their wicked and corrupted ways, and they're going to force a civil war onto this country. But I want you to understand that those who are forcing the civil war onto this country, they will not be death in this country without you getting your share too. I need you to understand this, right? Because we have a concept. We don't chop the snake by its tail. We just go for your head. I needed to understand this whole thing, right? Because this thing ain't gonna play out like Wismar. It ain't gonna play out like Jonestown. It ain't gonna play out like the Lusignan Massacre. You see, because let me tell you this. If the Indian people in this country ain't learned already that y'all is the biggest targets because y'all too damn quiet, you're rather thief from each other in courthouse than fight for your rights, well, you're about to be forced into a really, really serious position, right? And this position could have been averted a long, long time ago. Unfortunately, the leaders that you have been choosing, they only know about paperwork. Well, I don't know about you if you're going to take a pen to a gunfight, but you got to know how you're doing this whole thing, right? Because the real killers, they're going to come out on the street soon. And they're going to be targeting all of you. Especially those of you who think that you're all right, you're safe, you got a little money. No, y'all is target scud. I want you to know this. All y'all business community, everything, y'all is target, right? Because you better understand the type of people connected to this dictatorship, right? And I ain't talking about the intellectual ones. I talking about the real ignorant ones, the ones that be on the street who ain't got nothing to lose, who just been looking for an opportunity to do a set of bad things, who been watching your little daughter, them thinking, hey, you know what, we're gonna go and we're gonna rape this little bitch. And I saying it straight because I need you to get it into your head what's about to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you could choose to make a stand when the time is ready. Or you could choose to sit back like these little meat birds with his raised in the foul pen, and one by one they're going to come and pluck you out and roast your scut. Right? Because it's coming. Right? It's definitely coming. Now, people might think it's not. People might think, no, U.S. gonna step in. No, listen very carefully, ladies and gentlemen, right? I question in the U.S.'s integrity right now because I could definitely tell you it's not in the interest of the U.S. for Guyana to become a strong nation because we're gonna demand higher prices for our stuff. It's not in the interest of the rest of the world for Guyana to be a strong nation. This world don't want to see any more strong nations because they already have capitalized and monopolized on the fact that they have their own strong nations. Right? Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Who allowed PNC to go into power in the first place? And why? Right? Who allowed those things to happen? Right? Who sat back and watched while East Indians were slaughtered in this country? Right? And I'm not saying some black people didn't get killed. I know stories of plenty black people that try to stand up for East Indian families and get killed and get tormented in the process because there was a set of ignorant ones who didn't got time with nothing. Right? Lot of problems in this country. Lot of truths have been hidden. Right? Lot of deals with the devil have been made. And when you make a deal with the devil, he must collect his souls. So I wondering now, all of them who believe in voodoo, who believe in idolatry, who get a little position, right? If it is the souls of the Guyanese that they plan on trading for that position, but I tell you this, right? God sent me to do a job, and that job is to protect what is his. The devil cannot claim what is not his own. You cannot sell people's lives for power. You will not. That same judgment will pass upon you and your families. It will not pass upon the innocent people here in this country. However, the innocent people here in this country must learn how to stand up. It is not time to be sheeps, ladies and gentlemen, unless you plan on being a sheep led to the slaughter. It is time to be a lion. And if they dare come within your territory, you must defend it at all costs. At all costs. Right? What? It looks like there's a lot of sayings coming up here. Sometimes, sometimes I see a whole bunch of things. I don't know why people are arguing on this thing. There's nothing to argue about. There's a little history. You can't argue with what done happened. It done happened. It's the facts. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, don't argue with me. Go find God. Go to the history books. and start trying to rewrite them, right? Start trying to rewrite human history, scunt, if that's what you feel you could do. Some of you can't see your future. You want to rewrite history. You can't, because it does not change the fact that in this country, by the hands of one ethnic group, another ethnic group was significantly tortured, punished, and discriminated against. But we don't talk about that, do we? The Indians, like y'all scared for shout out the truth. What's wrong with you? There's only one dead we could dead, you know. They can't kill we more than one time. I ain't know about you. There's one dead we could dead. And they can't lock me up for talking history, because I'm waiting. Right? Nobody don't want the truth coming out. The truth is a hot, hot thing, you know. And it's funny that a man named Snow Guy bring a hot truth to you. Right? But for those of you who don't really understand what is happening in the Wismar massacre, right? Let me tell you. Imagine 10% of a population, or 10% of that area in Wismar was East Indian, 90% was Afro-Guyanese. And when all of these things happened, all or a majority of Afro-Guyanese in that area came down upon the Indo-Guyanese. And there was murders, there was people's house being burned, there were little girls having glass bottle push up in their vagina, destroying them little girls to life, because this is the wickedness that is in the minds of the low-minded. Right? So I want you to know, it's not the educated black people doing this. It's not those of decent class. Right? You got a set of really wicked people in both. However, when they gonna come with a brutal force. I watching this whole 12-day lockdown they want to initiate on the country. Well, let me tell you what the word is in the grapevine, because I'm in all grapevines right now. The word is, that's the signal to keep their people off the street, so that what gonna happen. Right? Well, I want people to know it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen so easy. Right? Well, you see, Dennis, you know, I watching that right there. And that is exactly what they want. And that is exactly why this country can't get any type of stability. Right? I can tell you that that's why I respect black people. Is whole one head, you know. It's only coolie people tearing each other apart in and out. Right? Y'all gotta understand. That's why I love black people. That's why I surround myself with more black people. Black people got more loyalty, Scott. Coolie people ain't got loyalty. I dare you to tell me coolie people got loyalty. Can't say that. Coolie people ain't got no loyalty. That's why coolie people get victimized everywhere you go. Because you can't hold one head. You want to rob Matty. You want to down talk Matty. That's what you want to do. Let's see. Maybe I should start paying a little attention to what's going on here. Right? Well, Kian Jeffers, you're probably absolutely right. I see plenty Indian people that stock up, especially when they drunk. Big talk till they get licks. Then they calm themselves down. I've come across a couple of them. There's an Indian man by the name of Shamram that come inside my business place and act crazy. Had a fight with his friend and then turn around and try to lock me up. Not even try to lipe on my skunt. Right? What was he even doing in my business? What was he even doing? But what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Right? So that's it. Let's see. My brother, let me tell you what. Right? You are absolutely correct as well. Because it's not all the black people. There's a lot of good black people. I surround myself with plenty good black people, right? I know my godmother black, my son half black, so let me tell you. Right? I found more integrity in that race than I have in the Indian race, and that is a fact. However, it still does not change the fact that one culture in our country or one race in our country is continuously victimized because they choose to be quiet. Right? Because they choose to be quiet. But what I telling everybody now, if you're a decent-minded citizen, you're going to start prepare. Because this thing ain't really about Indians and blacks. But the political heads in this country will make it about that. And they do have over 100,000 people with them who will listen to them. Who will listen to them and follow within that ignorance. Right? Who will listen to them and follow with that ignorance. And because there's that type of ignorance in society, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what race you are, we are all victims. And we are all going to be a victim in some which way, shape, size, or form if a civil war breaks loose here in Guyana. Okay? I don't ever hear people talking about Jonestown the way they got to talk about Jonestown. Lot of funny thing them happen, you know. You see, I used to wonder why I made travels all over this place. I used to wonder why I ended up in Jonestown for a time. I used to wonder why I had to go and check out things at Matthews Ridge and Angel Hill. But God himself has been leading me in a direction to see the evidence, to see the truths that were hidden. Right? Let me tell you what, I don't believe that the people in Jonestown committed suicide. That shit does not make sense to me. That shit does not make sense to me. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If you check some of the medication that they had in their camp and other supplies, those supplies would have been laced with cyanide. And there's evidence of this. And there's evidence of this, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Except, unfortunately, it seems as if the powers that be has been hiding all cases of this evidence. Right? Has been hiding all cases of this evidence. And it is wrong. It means the truth has been hidden over and over and over and over again. And the truth continues to be hidden when a particular group is in power. Right? Now, people say not all of them were Americans. Plenty Guyanese people go for free thing, right? That you see that's the sad thing. We like free thing, right? So plenty Guyanese people went there for free thing. And you say they were Americans. There's a lot more to it. Some things I shouldn't even talk on TV, and some things I won't, because some things are way beyond Guyanese politics. People don't even understand what's going on, right? People don't even understand what's going on, right? So there's a lot of truths out there that I think still needs to be investigated. As far as I'm concerned, there's no statute of limitations on murder, especially mass murder. And I do believe that at some day the real culprits need to be brought to justice. Unfortunately, most of the people who would have been ordering those things and making those things a reality, they're dead and gone, and they probably went down in history books as heroes in their own country, right? So there's a lot of funny things that people need to get out there, right? But then we're going to fast forward a little bit, right? Then we're going to fast forward a little bit, and we're going to start going to some other areas. Let's see who's calling. Okay, we got a caller coming in on the line, right? Mr. Correa, good morning. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. What's going on?
I can barely hear you. Hold on, let me see. Talk. Let me see if I can hear you right now.
Yes.
All right, good. We're hearing you. We're hearing you loud and clear, Mr. Correa. Are you watching the show? Well, that's the first thing I want to ask you. Are you watching the show?
Not really, because I am very busy doing other things.
Okay, well, Mr. Correa, let me inform you of the topic real fast. You can take a couple minutes, and then you could call back, and your commentary could be in line with what we're talking about, okay? We're talking about the Wismar Massacre. We celebrated independence yesterday, but I didn't hear nobody talk about the lives that were lost in the massacre, which was done on an Independence Day, right? Right? We're also talking about the Jonestown Massacre, right? And we'll also be talking about the Georgetown Massacre and a possible civil war that's around the country, right? Around the corner.
I don't have to call back. What I can say clearly off my head, because we don't make up anything, is what happened. the killing of the innocent people in Mackenzie and Wismar was done by the CIA by backing Forbes Burnham and the blowing up of the lunch that killed the innocent black people was going back to their family. The PPP and PYO was blamed for that, but then that's politics in the time to bring down the PPP government. And yes, many Guyanese blacks carry a bad name for that crime that was committed.
Here's something. Here's something, Mr. Karai, right? You just mentioned something, right? And I'm a very funny person, right? When you mention something, I want you to back it up with some proof. I like evidence, right? When you say this, listen, no. Well, what I'm trying to find out, right? Because remember, if you state something, I like facts. I don't like hearsay, Scott. I like facts.
What you want facts? What you want facts about?
I want facts. You say the CIA did something, right? So prove it to me now. You said they did something. Prove it. I need proof. Because here's the thing.
Listen to me. Listen, I'm going to explain it to you. Ask your manager, even though the time and place was not right, what you told the U.S. ambassadorship was right. But that was not the place to tell him he wasn't responsible. It was John F. Kennedy the late and D. Russell General Secretary when Jagan rejected Kennedy offer not to go to communism. But yet Jagan sent Indian and black people children to Cuba and sent his own to America and Canada. That is how the stupid Indian can't show much they love them. He sent them all to communist country and sent his own to imperialist country. The man was an effing hypocrite. He should have died in fucking childbirth.
That's your opinion. You I don't think nobody should have died in childbirth, honestly speaking, and I think you've already just jumped out of line. Thank you very much. You already jumped way out of line, right? Right? No. Bye. You see? You want to give somebody a chance, and they can't control themselves. They want to jump all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't definitively say that the CIA orchestrated anything because I'm not sitting with all of the solid evidence. That could be an assumption. And assumptions are normally wrong. Right? That's why I cut he off right there. Half that shit he talking about, you see, this is the problem. And I want all y'all to know and understand, right? Sometimes even the people that we don't like to hear what they say, some of them, right? Some of them just make some valid points, and then before the point can finish, their personal hatred of things start to step in, right? And this is where I have a problem. Right? One thing has nothing to do with the next. If you state the point, get to your point, state your point, draw back off. Keep your emotions out of it as best as you could. That's a little hard for me, but you still gotta do it. Right? Now, you see, for things like that, I might not even want to answer the man call again because to me, he behaving like a retard. Right? He behaving like a retard. And never mind, it's my father. I think sometimes for his mouth, he need good licks, Scott. Because he don't know what he's saying sometimes. Right? But then too, sometimes a mad man just talk some truth, but we ain't want to listen to it because the excuse is we say he mad. Right? But it's some funny things. Right? But getting back to our point, the point is that all of these horrible massacres that are recorded in history for our country has always been happening under the rule of a political party, a particular political party. Right? So the track record don't look good. Now, with everything happening, right? Yeah, maybe the CIA should deal with he. Probably shouldn't deal with me because I ain't calling nobody name. Right? I think that's a big thing. Right? But I doubt the CIA is gonna deal with one of their own. Right? So understand what's going on. Right? But let's see how it all gonna fly out and how it all gonna play out. And we can see from there, Mr. Karaya is a very old man. So if they go in there for deal with it, good luck with that, right? It just would show how much they were involved. So let them enjoy that, right? See what's going on. I see a lot of different names. I see a lot of different names and stuff like that going on, right? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know why you guys fighting on social media, right? If you really want to fight, up your guns and meet each other at the front door and just end it. Why everybody just keep talking, right? I don't get that, right? And I'm not promoting it. I'm just looking for the quickest way to end it, because realistically, you know, it's us young people that's suffering the most. If all y'all old people want to go and wire it out and kill each other in the corner, hey, I ain't got no problem with that, but keep we young people out of it, right? I'm only stating the facts that I see it right here. I ain't going to go ahead and I ain't going to call names unless I can prove it, right? You know, that there that Mr. Karaya did there, I found it completely inappropriate. State your point on what you know, right? But make sure you talk with facts or something that you can back up, right? And this is the whole thing, right? You see, this is how misinformation gets out there. This is how bad things end up happening, right? Is that you need to make sure that when you talk, you got the facts there. If you don't have all of the facts there, then you can leave it as an open-ended result, because the real result, the real facts have never been brought to the table, right? Unless you could tell me, because I honestly can't believe in my right mind that a whole bunch of people left America, good people, sane in their brain, and they allow one or two man them for hold them hostage in the middle of a jungle and force them all to drink poison. That shit makes absolutely no sense. You know, you could tell them people back in the day, and you can put together all your fake news reports and stuff like that, but that has nothing to do with what probably actually happened, right? So, you know, that's a fact on that. But my point is that however, whatever happened there, it happened under the rule of a particular government here in this country. Okay? That is what I'm getting at. I don't know all the other shit that everybody want to take and twist it away, but that is what I'm getting at, right? I'm making 1 point and 1 point only. If you want to jump into 1,000 areas, you must have free time in the day. I'm too busy for this cunt, right? Good. So, we don't know Jonestown was on the PNC. We don't know Wismar was on the PNC, right? A lot of nonsense they happening on the PNC. And now we have APNU-AFC / PNC, and they are behaving as dictators, right? They have been calling for war. At least I know Joseph Harbin publicly went out and tell his supporters, right? To call that this is war. So, sir, I don't know what your definition of war is, but last I checked, you're a farmer soldier, and my definition of war is we killing each other in a bloody bath. And if that's what you're calling for, the people are going to stand up. I'm telling you right now, the people are going to stand up. We ain't sitting down, you know. This ain't Wismar. This ain't Jonestown. And we're going to do it live on Facebook. Right? Because the whole world got to see what's going to happen. Because I know this, any soldiers pulling up by my door, anybody coming here any crazy way, right? It's on. You better make sure that I'm damn well guilty of some type of legal, constitutional crime or something, right? And if you only come for lock me up, I want Mingo Skunt in jail. I want Valda Lawrence in jail, because all of them involved in false declaration. Unless you could tell me I lie there. You see, I could call their name, because they have already broken the law. I can state that. The evidence is out there. The declaration is out there. Things are out there, right? So I could call that one up. I could call a spade there, right? And for all y'all Christians that support Granger Party, I want you to know that in the Bible it speaks against idolatry and it speaks against spiritism. But yet you see somebody by the gardens singing up, calling on Kabaka, calling, what the fuck is that, right? It's not devil skunt they calling out to the grave for you. All y'all false Christians have already been misled, right? So this is the honesty. This is the honesty. This is the truth of it, right? But I tell you this, the politicians have been driving for a racial war. But this ain't going to be a racial war. I tell you this is going to be a fight for democracy. This is a fight for freedom, ladies and gentlemen. Right? This is a fight for freedom, ladies and gentlemen. And this fight is going to be fought on so many different grounds. Social media is one platform. The ghetto is another platform. The business arena is another platform. The court system is another platform. The military and joint services will have their own division because not all of them want to see innocent people dead. So we can't subjugate the whole police force or the whole military and say all of them is bad because all of them is not bad at the same time. It's only the ones who choose to follow racial politics. So if you choose to follow racial politics, well, you're going to pay the price. Definitely going to pay the price. Right? So I want you to know. By the way, I think I'm doing very, very well this morning. Right? Because I'm not really cursing too much. So congratulations for me. I'm trying to make the show a little bit more kid-friendly. Right? Even though some of the topics we discuss are definitely not childish topics. Right? But here's the thing, right? I want y'all to know. Nobody else ain't telling you this. Nandalal ain't telling you this. Barrett ain't telling you this. But I see people still praising them. Them ain't telling you be ready. Them ain't telling you what coming. Y'all ain't getting ready for it. Right? But let me tell you what. Y'all be calm. Y'all be calm. And see what's gonna happen. Y'all stay easy when your villages is burning down. Right? And one by one, they're going to kick down your door and they're going to murder you. Because you don't know how to stand up for your rights. Right? And that is the reality. Is that because you're going to be quiet, right? Because you're going to be sitting there and you ain't got time for be your brother keeper, I feel, you know what? Somebody going to come in and help we, you know. Nobody ain't coming for help, you scunt. Who tell you anybody coming for help? Why you think the US taking it so easy and staying out of Guyana? What really you think going on here in this country? Come on, man. US forced their way back into Iran. All the way back into the Middle East, they forced their way back in. They sent their own US soldiers for dead, skunned for weapons of mass destruction, some of which were not even found. Right? Now, blatantly, you see a barefaced dictatorship rising. They see it. The Organization of American States call out Mr. Golick, call them out on it. America stepping aside. Why America stepping aside? I asking you, Miss Ambassador, why y'all ain't acting yet? Mr. Trump? What really going on that we don't know about? Right? Because this thing is a lot bigger than Guyana. There's only we in Guyana feel that this thing is big. It's just about Guyana. This got nothing to do with Guyana sometimes, you know. One thing ain't got nothing to do with the next. If Guyana is destabilized, who benefits the most? I always tell people, follow the money and you're going to see the bandit. Follow the money. That's all you got to do. Follow the money. Oh, y'all coolie people good at counting people money. How come you can't follow the money and see who really allowing this? I call it for the United Nations to step into this country in a big way. Think about it. Right? Right? Think about it. I call it the United Nations for step into this country. Now, I'll tell you something. Yeah, I see the comments on the side there. Some of them just bother me, yeah? Right? Alfred, sorry, call me a deportee. Your mother Pokey is a deportee. Sorry, I just had to say that one. It was, force of habit. I just had to say it. However, right? Well, I would like to touch more on Rabbi Washington, but I'm not sitting with all of the facts in front of me. I like to make sure I have all of the facts in front of me, or I know enough about the circumstances, situation, to really, really put it out there. I don't like to talk without, without having all of the accurate information, right? Because like I said, tell it as it is or shut up. It's an honest opinion, right? And yeah, there were times when Jack Dale may have definitely caused corruption. I know it. Some of his friends tried to kidnap me. Not even tried. Some of his friends kidnapped me, beat the shit out of me, threw me in a car trunk, right? Think about it, right? So there's good and bad on everything. And at the end of the day, too, now we got to look at what's better for the country and not what's better for me. I can sit there and I can focus on what's better for me. But the reality is that would be a short-lived focusing. Because even if I fix something in my own personal bubble, the whole world around me is falling apart and it will eventually affect me, right? So I want people to know that, bottom line, what's about to happen, it can go left and it can go right really, really fast. Okay? Really, really fast. All right? Good. Let me give you some. Alfred, I can destroy you after this whole thing. It's not hard to destroy a person with no face. Ladies and gentlemen, watch right there. That's one of the PNC people, right? You got proof I was deported, my buddy? You got proof, and don't show me a fake news report. You gotta show me the direct files from the U.S. government. And I waited for the U.S. government to show me one bad thing so I could turn around and I could dig it in them too, right? Good, because I got some facts about me that even they don't want to put out there, right? But they could go ahead, right? You, hold on, watching them. Don't worry, I can deal with y'all just now. Y'all really don't want to hear this. I know. From the minute I see y'all jumping up like this, I know I dep on the right. I know I dep on the right thing right now, right? Because I see all the trolls popping out right now, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out fast. Watch how fast they popping out right now. Y'all just jealous, cunt, because I travel around and I come back and I want to represent me people, right? But it's okay. It's okay. That's perfectly fine, right? But like I'm telling you, they don't want the East Indians to stand up. They don't want the righteous people in this country to stand up. So ladies and gentlemen, look and see all the little trolls. Look and see all the little trolls that are going out there and that are trying to attack people on social media. All of this is the stuff I talk about. You see, I told you this battle is going to be fought on many fronts. The politicians, well, they're going to sustain the least amount of damage because their battle is with pen. The business people, they're going to sustain financial damages, some of which are going to be irreparable till they have to run and left the country, which is the plan, you know. The plan is to chase all the Indian business people out of the country, right? They have been systematically doing these things over time, right? From the raising of the fees in the firearm licensing, to raising your business registration fees, to raising all of these things. These are systematic attacks, extra taxes. Who the hell does really pay taxes in Guyana? It's the working class. And y'all gotta know which part of the society is that, because I ain't gonna say it. I can tell you the Linden still don't pay for electricity, or at least they don't pay what everybody else paid. So half of the country paying for the rest of the freaking country, and then we crying about why we electricity bill so high, is because we paying for other people. We paying for other people. Right? Alfred, I don't know if you're telling me speak clean and neutral, right? And educate you. You can't educate ignorance. The Bible tells you knowledge is wasted on a fool, sir. So I got left you right there. But what I will educate you with is proper licks. Proper licks. You're too ignorant to be educated. Real licks you got to catch for coming out there and talking the wrong nonsense. Now, you don't need book work unless I got to pick up this book here and I got to bust your ass with it. Right? But I waiting for anybody to come and set it off. Right? APNU. Oh, okay, hold on. I thought somebody said something. Right? It's a funny thing, right? These people don't like me, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm telling you, They calling they people to arms. So I wonder what you gonna do. If you gonna go out there to a gunfight, right? With what? With a sari on? I gotta say sorry because it looked like the Indian women gonna put up more of a fight than the Indian man them. Because the Indian man them still there in the rum shop drinking and partying. But the Indian women are the ones that are gonna be victimized the most throughout this whole thing. Is y'all gonna get raped, cuff up, slander, abuse, treat like dirty little whore. I telling you what gonna happen. Because your man them don't know how to stand up. The Indian man them busy thieving from one another, lying from one another. Some of them making love to one another because they drink up the rum and they gone. Now, people don't like what I say, but this is the fact. And as long as the Indians can't hold one head for stand up, y'all will always be food for the dogs. And that is a fact. You will always be food for the dogs. Right? So I give the women more respect than I give the men because I see the women doing more. Because no matter what, when the women got picnic, they ain't got choice but to fight for the life of their picnic. Somebody man them gone and drink up and go hug up with next man and dancing up in the rum shop with one another scut. That's the fact. But I calling on the real man them in the country. The time about to come where y'all gotta stand up. You're gonna be forced to stand up. And if you don't stand up together, when they kicking down your door them one by one, you're gonna be forced to stand up alone. Right? Joseph Harmon calling people to arms. What do you think calling to arms mean when you tell your people in the middle of an election cycle? Is war? What's war? Ladies and gentlemen, war ain't nothing nice. War ain't nothing nice. Ask anybody from Syria. Ask anybody from Somalia. War ain't nice. But he calling war upon a country that was peaceful. That in itself is a crime, ladies and gentlemen. Worse yet, it's a military man calling for war. That's a serious thing. But yet he was never charged to instigating violence or for attempting to start a war here in this country. There's been no justice met out to him for that action. There's been no discipline met out to him for what he has said. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but it seemed like a real one-sided thing. It seemed like a real one-sided thing, and I can tell people right now, what going through the grapevine right now is they getting their people ready. They telling they soft people stay home, because they hard people gonna be on the road. Right? They riling up the ghetto youths, but y'all ghetto youths gotta understand too. Any y'all playing thief man business, breaking into, we killing you. Right? The innocent people gonna kill you. Because nobody ain't breaking into nobody's house during this whole thing. And all y'all who want to play y'all head ain't good. Trust me when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, do what you gotta do and don't report it because the police gonna lock you up for reporting it. Anybody break into your house, anybody threatening your family, stand up for your rights. And I want them lock me up for what I say in here. I ain't tell you for kill people. I telling you, if you got to kill in self-defense, do it. Because the law does protect the criminals. That is a fact. That is a fact. And I know they're going to want to jail me. I know they're looking for a way. I know they're going to want to kill me. I know they're looking for a way. But let me tell you this, my words will ring throughout history the minute you touch me. And then you'll set a genocide in this country like you've never seen before because we're waiting for it. Right? We're waiting for it. Right? We don't want it. But we're waiting. My only thing is, we want to see who actually standing up or who gonna sit down. Because if you sitting down, you're a part of the problem too. And I'm telling you this, because you will allow them to bully the rest of us. This is not right. Not another massacre should happen in this country unless it is the final massacre. This is a fact. They don't like it. They're nervous. They're weak. And they're terrified for people like me to come out there and tell y'all stand up. The best way you get ready to deal with the bully is by standing up. And ladies and gentlemen, you need to stand up. You need to stand up. The justice system is compromised. Okay? The Constitution has been broken. We are no longer a sovereign nation. We are under a dictatorship. Right? Let me tell you something. People ain't paying attention. COVID-19 is now an excuse. The COVID task force working directly for the government to help style these elections. That is a fact. That is a fact. Nobody can hide that. They're doing everything that they could. They're doing everything that they could. Right? And all we leaders is saying, I ain't know what they say. I finally hear Anil Nandalal and them talking about calling the international community. You should have done calling the international community. What the hell you mean? I talking to the international, I want the international community. You guys playing smart, man, Anil. BJ, you playing smart, man. United Nations, them boys should have done their letter. Should have done been informed. When I see y'all moving slow, I feel y'all is part of this thing, you know. To keep out all the new groups. But I watching closely and I ain't no scuntole. I ain't no idiot. I ain't playing game. Right? Because at the end of the day, I know what's going on. I know the smart people in Guyana, plenty of them left. We left with some who can't read and write. Maybe a majority still can't read and write. And most of the coolie man them would rather y'all fight the battles for them. How the hell you sending paper pushers to a gunfight, ladies and gentlemen? What you want to happen there? He gonna write your will for you. That's all he gonna do. Right? I never see any one of them standing up taking licks for the people. But y'all gotta know. Y'all gotta know. Because when I'm here, I ain't talking for any particular side. I ain't got the problem with PNC. I ain't got a problem with PPP. I ain't got a problem with anything. I got a problem with some of the people inside of both of these networks and agencies and political parties who are using it for their own agenda and not for the people's agenda. Right? Ladies and gentlemen who are watching this show, you need to understand. You need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, right, that neither of these political groups started out with bad intentions. Burnham didn't kick off with the PNC and Chetty didn't start the PPP with wicked intentions for their people. However, wherever you have human beings, you do have some sort of corruption. And because that corruption was not checked when it started to show its ugly little head, it grew, and it grew within both. Now, you have wicked people in both major groups, as well as you have good people in both, and the good people don't know how to separate themselves from the two and form something that is united for the country. I am here asking all the good people from APNU-AFC, PNC, step aside. I'm here asking all the good people from the PPP, step aside. Y'all giant, make a one government. But you got to filter out all the wicked people, because the wicked people are leading this country into a civil war, ladies and gentlemen. They are leading this country into a civil war, and it's you and your children that are going to be in the direct middle of this battle. They're going to be protected. That's a fact. Mr. Harmon, you call for war. I would like to see your child on the front line. Don't send your Matty black people cheering to death, Skunting. You ain't sending you on. Fair is fair. If I is a king, or if I is a president, or if I is a soldier, a general, I then lead in my army. This is a fact. I ain't sending my neighbor cheering for dead and locking me on up and sending me on America. I ain't doing that. Why you calling for war when you ain't even dead inside the country? Bring you own back and then call for war, sir. Because if my own might have to lose their life, you own might have to lose their life too, sir. Fair is fair. You can't send me and my own to fight and you own ain't there. And I hope the black people listening, because I want y'all listen. Y'all leaders ain't got time with y'all. They sending you out for fight them battle. Tell me something. How much benefit have you really gotten from these people that at 2020 they got to lie for trying to stay in power? Think about it. Think about it. This ain't got nothing to do with black and Indian, you know. But the politicians gonna make it their way. Because that is what is in the hearts of the Guyanese people. Plenty Guyanese people wicked scunt. We got too much hatred, too much fear, too much racism in us. We need to eradicate it from the soul in order to fix these problems. But they calling on a civil war. Right? Well, sir, Vibert, if you got sense and you've been following me for some time, you would know that I am not a supporter of Bharat. I am not a supporter of Irfan Ali. I am not a supporter of the PPP. But I would hold hands with the lesser of the two evils to get rid of the greater one, scunt. And let me tell you what, APNU-AFC PNC dictatorship is worse than anything that the PPP could possibly do. We're going to remove one and then we're going to fix the next. And if the next don't take fixing, we're going to remove them too. Don't make joke. This ain't no one-sided thing. The sword of justice got two blades, two sharp edge. It's not one. It got swing both ways. We want fairness in the country. We want everybody to live good in the country. And in order to do that, we must call a spade a spade. We must give Jackie jacket, especially on a rainy day. Right? We can't sit here and play one-sided, because this is why we are in this position in the first place. And as long as we put people who harbor hate in their soul, or harbor racism, or play party politics, this is what's going to happen. But I'll tell you this, there are good people who don't support either side for their corruption. We just want to see a peaceful country. And if it means that we must make a stand to eradicate the evil in this society, or at least as much of it as we could, we are going to make this stand. Even if it is our last stand, but it is your last stand too, sir, if you're coming crazy to us. But I could tell you this, PNC can't afford a war. APNU can't afford a war. So I know when a bluff come in my way, I just play poker good. There's only one and two of you people gonna rile up. Right? And I know this. I know this for a fact. Because I'm connected to the killers on the streets. I know who hiring who. I know who sending people for infiltrate and do this and this and this. I know what's going on. I didn't know it by chance. It's by chance you put me into the group. You isolate me. Some of y'all wrongfully call me deportee and talk about all of this stuff. So thank you very much. I took advantage of it. You know, I took a negative and turned it into a positive, and I just worked it to my advantage. Because, you know, that's the difference between me and you. I could take something negative and I could flip it. I don't need to fester on negativity, because I have learned in life, sometimes when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So you called me a criminal at one point in time. You pushed me into a bunch of criminals. So now I have went and I have reformed those criminals into freedom fighters. And you got a big fight on you, huh? No. Because all them bad man, them is now freedom fighter. All you killers ready for kill you if you're acting crazy. Because they realize it's you been setting them up from the start. It's you made society bad for them. It's you kept them in the ghetto. It's you kept them oppressed. So now their anger is accurately focused. So thank you very much for calling me a criminal. because the criminals might have to become the heroes on a day like today, is you have sealed your own demise. Right? So congratulations. Congratulations. Because all the killers ready for come for you if you act up. And anybody using racial violence, we going for them too. If you're attacking innocent people in this country, people coming for you. I'm telling you that right now. Because I know the killers that you sent for me, and they failed. Where are they now? You had to kill them. You kill them and them, so they couldn't talk the truth. It's alright. People know. Right? But we can see how this whole thing can play out. But ladies and gentlemen, what I'm here today, I'm not here to spark violence. I'm not here to push anything. All I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, history has a tendency of repeating itself. It is up to you now if you will allow this history to repeat itself during this generation. Young people, open up your eyes. We are the ones that will lose the most. Old people, be ready to stand up. You may have to fight for the future of your children. With your last ounces of breath, you should become martyrs if necessary. Do not be scared of what is to come. You do not know what is beyond that line. I look forward to it every day. When I will finally be free of this prison, I waiting for the man who can free me, because I willing for free you too. Right? It is a fact. But this ain't got nothing to do with political parties. This ain't got nothing to do with them. Let him come, let him come, let him come, my brother, let him come. Right? Let him come. I wish you would come. I still waiting for the man to come. Trust me, he ain't coming far. Right? Because I ain't calling for nothing bad. I still haven't broken no laws, and all of that nonsense that you doing to try for rile me up, it still ain't working. Right? Maybe you've been watching some shows and you've been falling for the bait. Right? But don't be fooled. It's easy to mislead the ignorant. If your politicians could do it, imagine what I could do to you. I can have your skunt running in circles. You still can't figure me out. Right? That's the funny thing. In fact, you hear certain things about China, and the People's Republic Army might have to step in. Encourage it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be fooled. Encourage it. Because if they bring my Chinese brethren, we got backup. If they bring the Iranians, we got backup. If they bring the Russians, we got backup. And if they bring the US, we might have backup. Because PNC got into power somehow in the first place, so I don't care what anybody say. Something funny going on here. Right? No, I wouldn't say that. Our PNC members are not rats, and I don't think you should say killing PNC members. I don't believe in that. You can't kill PNC members. Screw that. I'm not about killing PNC members. I'm not about killing AFC members. I'm not about killing PPP members. I'm not about killing members of a political party. I am about getting rid of corrupted people who are destabilizing each of those parties and manipulating each of those parties for their own personal enrichment. That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in finding the criminals, locking them up, and putting them to work for the people on either a chain gang or something of that sort. I'm not going to encourage killing people, though. I will encourage self-defense. I will encourage self-defense. If somebody comes to you, listen to my words carefully, ladies and gentlemen. If somebody come to you to kill your family, to hurt your family, you have to kill them in self-defense. I give you no wrong. I give you no wrong. But if you are discriminating against people because of racism, well, then you are wrong. Whether you're Indian, whether you're black, whether you're Chinese, whether you're whatnot, you don't discriminate against people based on racism. You need to know the difference. I'm not telling anybody to launch a war. I'm telling you to stand up in self-defense. There's a big difference. But only in Guyana is self-defense considered a crime. I've seen it. I've been a victim of it. Only under the PNC administration or AFC, APNU, whatever they want to call themselves, is self-defense a crime, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where I have a problem. Because it looks like it's going to be a very, very funny fight right now. Because this whole nation is going to need to stand up for self-defense. And I tell you this, if you're honest and you're an innocent person, I know, you might tell yourself, you ain't ready for it. But whether you're ready for it or not, it's coming. It's coming if things don't change, it's coming. Because that is what they're pushing for. You think Harmon and Lawrence and all of them who done possibly thief out and do whatever, you think they want our next government go in there for catch and find everything that they do? That's real jail. This is real jail. The man rather send Harmon rather send 10,000 black people for death scunt in his personal war than he go to jail for the money he thief in. Possibly. Allegedly. Who knows? Yeah? But he's sending people. He's sending people. Right? If I run the police force, this whole police force getting an overhaul. A complete overhaul. I ain't want no one-sided police in me country. Police should have never been one race, cunt. I don't appreciate that. Military should have never been of one race. I don't appreciate that. And for the military and for the police, and plenty of women who join the force know this, I'm very sorry for y'all women, because the man must pass y'all women through the ranks. Real thing. I know plenty of young black girls who went into the military and come back to me for jobs. Why? Because in order for them to get position, they had to assume a position. And it is unfair what you are doing to our young black sisters. Because we can't talk about all the mistreatment and don't talk about the mistreatment that's happening to the young black women in our country. And who is it happening by? And not Coolie man doing it. Is that a black man mistreating them? But nobody ain't talking about that. Nobody ain't talking about that. My first son mother is a black woman. I feel for black women. Because by the looks of it, the black women are carrying the burdens of the black men. And as I always say it in Guyana, the women deserve more respect than the men in this country. Because the women is whole up. The women is whole up. The men too busy whoring around, drinking around, partying and sporting, trying to play big shots, Scott. But I tell you this, the time is coming when we must separate the difference between those who want a righteous life and those who wish to live a corrupted and unrighteous life. The time is coming. And ladies and gentlemen, I watching this thing for this 12-day lockdown. Nationwide lockdown. Now again really. Well, let me tell you what, we heard the signals through the grapevines, and somebody here to advise to the whole public. Y'all, prepare yourself. Right? Because during that time is when they might try to swear in an illegitimate president, and everything is going to go crazy. Trust me on this, it's going to go crazy. Right? Well, Brian Khan, them young black girls can't be robbing white tourists unless the white tourists want to go and pick fare or want to go and try for slut out them girls. Them girls, them is surviving. Right? It's just like some white people that's go into certain place in Africa and other country them and they just go around with the black man them there. There's plenty story on the internet about it. Said the young gigolos, hey, that's how it happened. This is how it happened, eh? I forget what you call them, but I was reading a story about it up to the other day, right? Because I'm very in touch with what's going on in Africa. I'm very in touch with what's going on in certain parts of the world because we have network offices in certain parts of the world, so I have no choice but to be informed about what's going on there, right? But I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, and I spoke about Walter Rodney before. Walter Rodney was killed by his own kind. Man like Vincent Tico, Father Doc, Washington Rabbi, those men were betrayed by the people closest to them. And let me tell you, it wasn't a coolie man, because they had their own black brother them. Rodney was right here inside the same building where I sit in right now. Rodney was here in the past, speaking with my father. Right? This is when the WPA was a real party. Not what it is now. Not with a set of traitors running it. Right? This is a fact. This is a fact. The same building Rodney was in. There's only a couple boards changed, but he was in this same building. And my grandfather tell you, be careful of the people you got around you. He said, no, my brothers, I know who I have. My brothers will never betray me. Same people them go and kill you. Right? So, people got to know. People got to know. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying today's show. Let me get back on a nice little note. Once again, I would like to thank all the viewers. I would like to thank, all of the haters. And realistically, there's no real reason to be a hater of me, because all I'm doing is telling it as it is. If you hate me, that means you hate the truth. It means you hate yourself. And you probably shouldn't hate yourself. It leads to suicide. But in case you need to do suicide, right, Jim had a very nice recipe. Try to find it out. I'm sure if you study history, you'll find out what he used. Okay? So, gotta know. Well, Saif Ali, if Granger swearing Friday, when we get to that bridge, we're gonna cross it. Okay? So, if you're here for set me up, sorry, this is a war that could be won without guns. Right? The Chinese taught us how to fight. Right? So don't play games. Alright? So if you're here to instigate problems, because it definitely feels like this particular person is here to instigate problems, let me just focus in on this fake account, ladies and gentlemen. Help us please by reporting this account, because when an account is on Facebook with no picture and things like that, these are things that we got to watch for, because this is one of those same trolls that really don't like the truth. Right? So if you guys could do me a kind favor, and this wait, Saif Ali, well, he got a picture, right? Let's go through, right? He talking about pick up guns. I say pick up guns yet? Is you trying to promote this whole thing? Hey, I tell you this. If Granger trying to protect this country, just like that, there's a God watching. I telling you straight, my God is great. We win this fight without even lifting a finger. Unless you could tell me Granger gonna beat the cancer. Unless you could tell me though. You see, God done fighting for we, Granger got cancer, Nagamutu got heart problems, the next one can't see straight, a lot of things. One in charge of communication and still can't communicate properly what's going on, right? A lot of funny things them happening here, right? So y'all got to know. Y'all definitely got to know what's going on. But Saif, I sure this thing burning you, eh? You don't like hear truth, eh? The bunny your bumsy, eh? Oh, somebody send you some ice, no? Send you some ice. He come to snow, but your bumsy still burning, so you need to meet Mr. Ice. Right? Right? Funny as hell. All these fake accounts popping up these days. It is funny as hell. Don't you know I enjoy tormenting y'all bastards? Y'all don't know though. This is the one fun I get in life. Other than that, it's pure work I just do, I don't lime. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't gamble. I don't do none of them things them. Right? So the only little fun I got is to hunt down trolls every day. So, so you could go ahead and you could just paint the bullseye on your head. right? Right? I wish Granger was my boss, cunt. Because maybe then I could get close enough to he for talk some sense into your damn head and save the company from collapse. Anyway, the Granger company headed for bankruptcy. So you gotta know what's going on. Right? Thank you very much for telling the world that Granger is your boss. Right? I hope you understand. When he no longer have access to treasury money, we're gonna see how much of a boss he's a boss. Right? And in fact, I can do a little research on you, Saif. Because I think you want some attention. I think we got to make you popular. You want to be heard? We're going to make sure you're heard. Right? You're gonna get good hearing today, Scott. I know the real good hearing today. I chased a queen off of Facebook the other day. Right? Right? Look like I got to deal with you now. Right? Because you ain't got no sense. You coming to the wrong place, my brother. I'm telling you straight. You come to the wrong place for behave stupidity, you know. But it's all right. Even madness got the cure. Right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to get back to work. Don't want to take up too much more of your time. All I could tell you is, right, be ready to stand up. Because if you ain't ready to stand up when the time is right, you're going to get bullied by people like Saif Ali, if that is actually his real name. Right? Probably somebody pretending to be somebody so that they can mislead other somebodies. Duh. Right? It happens just like that. That's how they do their things. But like I said, this particular war is going to be fought on a lot of different fronts. And I believe that everybody needs to be prepared. Because if not, you will be victimized. So if we have not learned from the fact that Jonestown Massacre went on and it was covered up, the fact that the Wismar Massacre went on and it was covered up, right? Well, then when the time come and the Georgetown Massacre happened, I wonder who can be left for cover it up. Because as the saying goes, history is written by those who are victorious. Okay? So, think about that one. Think about it loud and clear. And how is it going to play out? Right? Because I can tell you this. If I'm correct, the police and the military are outgunned. I'll tell you that right now. The police and the military is completely outgunned. And if they stand up trying for support the dictatorship, it's going to be real bad for plenty of them too. I am telling innocent people, stand aside from this one. Do not let our country fall into a civil war. Do not allow it. Follow the Constitution. Whoever has broken the Constitution, arrest them. Okay? Whoever has broken the Constitution, arrest them and bring them to justice before a fair court system. Before a fair court system. When you talking about, I see people stating about the Lusignan Massacre. Well, let me tell you something. The Lusignan Massacre, just like the Sardeo Star killing, all falls on the responsibility of the PPP. They were in control at that time, and they did not handle themselves well. There's still a lot of secrets and everything else there. But right now, I got to go ahead, and I got to put it out there because truth is truth, fact is fact. Right? But if you want to talk about one killing, let me talk about all the killing. Right? Let me talk about all them church boys running around killing people. Let me talk about my neighbor down the road. Let me talk about my neighbor down the road who was just stuck up the other day by a couple little church by them and get shoot up inside your own house. Let me talk about that. Because that's real. That happening now. That happening now. I want y'all to understand. Let me talk about the injustices. Let me talk about the injustices of the old lady who was raped the other day and murdered by Lapentier, the older black woman. They grab Rastaman, they blame Rastaman, start destroy Rastaman life, and it was two church boys, cunt. And it was, y'all gotta tell me, What was the race? Because I didn't even want to say it. Because when I say it, black people want to tell me a racial scunt. Right? Saif, maybe the Guyanese government can't take the president to court. But the world court can snatchy, scunt up, and techie. Eh? Right? Because when we come in hard, my buddy. We ain't coming. What you think? It's just a small group of people? What you think? I talking the way I talking because I depending on Guyanese people for back me up? I don't know plenty Guyanese people is cowards, Scott. I don't see it. You could tell me I lie. But let me tell you what, there's a lot more than Guyanese in this country, my buddy. And thanks to me being a mixed man with a little bit of everything in me, I'm connected to everything. So when people want to play a race, we go show a race because I got a lot of races behind me. And we can race to the finish line. And we can see how it work out. Right? So I ain't worried about Granger feeling that this constitution could protect you. There ain't no constitution that protect you from the world court. I know that much. Right? You got to know. Right? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you very much, Saif Ali, for making it a little bit more entertaining and keeping my viewers busy. I really appreciated that. In fact, it helped me stay on point today. I was very, very happy for you. You have no idea. You know, and you gave me a little bit of an exercise to deal with a little bit this afternoon, which is, you know, just having fun with your account. Right? But for everybody out there, I want you to know, yeah, Feynman was responsible for that savagery. But here's the thing. How come we couldn't take him alive so he could have said who put he up to it? A lot of funny thing here, you know. But when I talk, you know, like I said, I ain't talking from any one particular side. I'm not trying to be one-sided here. I'm only stating things as I see it, and I'm only reflecting it, right? I'm a mirror, right? So if you hear anything you don't like, that's just because I am mirroring what society is going on with right now, right? So, you know, so that is a fact, right? Me personally speaking, I like to have fun. I want to enjoy a very happy and peaceful life. And anything threatening the peace of my life, well, I gonna react. And I suggest that everybody out there just be ready because we don't know where this thing could head. But if we follow the thread of history, it doesn't look good. And remember, history has a tendency of repeating itself. This 12-day lockdown we're about to go on, in the grapevine, it's a signal to certain groups. Y'all best be ready. Right? Because we don't know what's going to happen. All right. Thank you very much. Take care. God bless. And have a good day. And thank you for tuning in to Tell It As It Is, or Shut Up. By the way, we are looking for some more sponsors. If you guys would like to sponsor the show, if you like what it is that we're doing, if you want to help it get a little bit bigger, you know, we could use a little back-ends, right? So I don't normally say nothing, but I'm going to say something now. We could use some back-ends. Private message me, and I'll tell you how you can help us out. All right? Thank you very much. Take care. God bless. And may all of you stay safe. Everyone in Guyana, blacks, Indians, Chinese, Portuguese, whatever the hell you is, you in Guyana, I love you. Okay? I don't want to see nothing bad happen to my people. All of we is in this struggle together, you know. The struggle is real. The revolution is real. And the evil is not in any one particular culture. The evil is into the politics of this country. So we need to change that. Thank you very much. Have a good day. That's not begging. I don't have to beg. I just stating it straight. Ian, how you come back here, Ian? Ian, come back on? Ian, Harry? Oh, Ian. Oh. We can see you begging soon enough, Ian. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.